what should they do? Or what are some of the things that the agency can do that's gonna really make an impact? You know, we did the food pantry, at our agency, and so it was like the same folk coming every week. You know, and they would line up 6:30, so some of the other folk that actually needed, you know, these folk know to get there at 6:30 in the morning so they can get in line, and then by the time, a lot of the ones that needed it, that were there to actually need the food was gone.
We had that free lunch program.
Yep, the free, okay, so we use it for free lunch, for the youth, or for,
Well, it was for the program. Summer lunch program.
So-
for you.
so youth summer lunch?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more? Any more?
Provide food vouchers.
Okay, okay, food vouchers, for,
Elderly.
Or for those people that don't receive food stamps at all.
Right, single people need food vouchers too.
food vouchers for elderly? Okay, then you said for.
Qualifying singles.
Okay, and then food vouchers,
They're not the only ones that get kicked out.
qualifying singles.
Yes. People who don't have children but still want to eat every month.
And then, you know, a couple examples they here is conduct a food donation drive and distribute food to low-income people. Establish a skill development program so that individuals with low income can learn how to purchase economical food and use them to produce nutritious meals for families. You know, we see that in a lot of young people that get get $600+ a month. They don't know how to budget it to make it through half the month.
Yeah.
Forget the whole month. You know, I've heard some say, they got 5 kids, so they let all of them pick something that they want to get. And by the time y'all know children, by the time they pick, they over the budget, what you got. And then the rest of the month, they don't have anything left, to prepare meals for the children. So, and not only just doing it, but we said for the singles, those are people with no children, then the elderly, and then the summer youth program. Those are good because you'll see better results from those type programs other than just, giving them some food. The CSBG annual report approved in January 2017 to be used starting 18 has a section where agencies will identify family level and community level strategies. They are encouraging to use this language services for the family level work and strategies for community level work. It may take some time to adjust to this language change, but it can be important in getting the network to a standardized way of thinking. We have an activity that we're gonna do, it's called What Are Our Strategies? I want you to think about the needs identified in Module 2. Families lack affordable housing. And the outcomes we identified earlier, which is families received affordable housing. And then what activities can your agency implement to achieve them? So see, these are the services that an agency, so what we're gonna be doing are services that an agency can identify to make that need and then make that outcome come to pass. So these are services that we can do. And then are there things that we should have been doing that need to be abandoned or in favor of new services, and are there essential services that we need to strengthen? We're gonna identify some services. So consider the outcome and previously identified, and then we're gonna talk about family level, so we're doing the family level. And we wanna brainstorm some services that we could provide, move towards providing achievement of the outcome. So, on services, some examples, would be like, individuals renegotiate a lower mortgage payment, that's the outcome. And the service that provided was provide housing counseling program. So, this is something that an agency will provide. So that's the main term that we're gonna be looking at. So what is something that an agency can provide to get the family to, receive affordable housing? Okay, okay, rent and mortgage assistance. So provide rent and mortgage assistance. Okay,
What about that reverse mortgage? What does that work? Reverse mortgage?
I have no idea. I've heard, what I've heard is that with the elderly,
Yeah.
if they do that, it limits, but then if they die, that company gets the home.
Well,
You know, so, I mean, it is some things to consider,
it
you
is
know.
something to consider. If you elderly, if your children ain't doing nothing for you while you alive, why leave them some when you dead? So reverse mortgage, you got a comfortable home. You don't
Is that the
have
same
no
thing you
mortgage.
all heard about reverse mortgage?
That's what I
You have
heard.
a comfortable home. You don't have no mortgage, no. You can live out the rest of your life in peace.
Yes, that's true.
White folks do it all the time. Ain't no need to dying and leaving some back here for Sally. Who didn't think enough of you to bring you a glass of water?
That's what says before the ground is.
You got that right. Live your remaining years in peace.
Okay, so we've got the reverse mortgage anymore. So I should have had provide, reverse mortgage counseling.
Counseling. To see how it actually works.
Reverse mortgage counseling. Okay, is that it? So we're thinking about our families receive affordable housing.
Will consumer counseling be on there?
Okay, outcome, so we're providing a service that's gonna help them receive the affordable housing.
And also you can
And-
do some like money management with them.
Okay, so we're gonna provide,
Yeah.
money management, training. Now, you know, on the providing rent and mortgage assistance, is that something we're gonna be able to do that's gonna be continuous? You know, with programs, you know, are there funds gonna be available to, you know, there's another program they have, Hardest Hit Alabama. You know, where they pay people's mortgage or rent, whatever, up to a year for them, you know, yeah. If they, you know, had some financial difficulties, they will pay their mortgage.
What's the name of it?
Hardest Hit Alabama. Yeah, I had a customer that, was in that program, and then she just lost her job, and she was coming seeking additional assistance, but she had already went through that program, and she called me back, she did get approved for it, so they paid her mortgage up for a year. So, which eliminated the stress and the worries from that, and she was able to focus on other things, like getting a job, you know, and then taking care of her children. She didn't have to worry about being evicted.
Is that local or is it nationwide?
It's nationwide. Well, that's Alabama, Hardest Hit Alabama, Alabama. And if you Google it, it gives you all the information on it. So now, families receive affordable housing. So I still don't think we have a service that we've got here that's gonna help them towards that outcome that we've helped them to receive the affordable housing.
Could we provide them with a list of people who offer that services?
Okay? Provide referrals, you said? Provide referrals to what?
Other agencies?
Yeah.
Because there's a program I've heard called HUD, I'm not familiar with it, and they pay monthly. This is hearsay.
We'll provide referrals to the first-time home buyers program. That's through HUD.
You know, they pay
That
monthly.
would be something to educate them on trying to get affordable housing. And educating them.
Now, what is this program that you can get through the Pritchard Housing Board? And somehow or another, yeah, and you can, eventually the home will be yours?
Or is it rent to lease or lease to own?
I'm not sure.
I think it's the
I think they had
That's Orange Grove or something, they have like a program.
For 5 years.
For five-
They were,
5
that
years.
money they paid towards the mortgage, they
Mhm.
saved that up and it goes
Yeah,
toward the.
I've heard about that one.
And
Mhm.
that used to be through Section 8, through their self-sufficiency.
For the habitat.
That portion of your
Yeah.
business.
Good.
Okay, this is what we can do.
Yeah.
We're gonna provide the rent assistance, and then we're gonna combine these two. Because we just can't give them money without, money management training on how to. So even if we provide the service of the rent and mortgage assistance, but then we also provide them with the training on how to budget. So the agency will provide rent and mortgage assistance, because they got what, affordable housing? And we didn't identify whether it was rent or mortgage, so we're gonna say they provide rent and mortgage assistance and money management training.
Now, Brenda, I had a girl, like you were saying, Orange Grove. She got in that program, and they showed her how to manage her money, how to build her credit. They have to go to class.
Yeah.
Know how to budget their money and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
They have to maintain a job.
Yeah.
So our services, we're gonna provide rent, mortgage assistance, and money management. Training. Ms. Story, would you hang that on the wall between those two? Do I need an outcome? Thank you.
So an individual in our family that has zero income wouldn't qualify, would they? Because they don't have money to manage. I'm just a question.
Well, our need was a family likes affordable housing, not income.
Okay, but.
So, yeah, but we gotta go with our need, yeah, it wasn't the income.
Okay.
Our need is they lack affordable housing, and the outcome is that they received it, so the service we provide to help them get it,
Okay.
yeah. So we can't get another, yeah, we on that one. And then the S for services goes here. So we've got services and outputs.
It's on, it already jumped on there.
No, that's
Oh, okay.
service and output. Well, what we're gonna talk about is service and output. Now, output, if page 45, please, in your participant manual. While CAAs are held accountable for producing outcomes, they also must demonstrate they can have the capacity to achieve their results through effective and efficient management and delivery of service. The changes or the outcomes are the customer who participates in the training program will increase skills. The customer who receives a utility payment will be able to avoid utility shut-off. The customer who gets a ride gain access to other services. They may therefore have improved health or observable income. When we talk about the process of the service, the quantity of the work produced by the service or other qualifiers regarding the service, we're talking about outputs. Ms. Lewis, would you read that in the gray area, starting with outputs, please? The entire gray area?
Sure.
Outputs are the activities of the program, both the activities of the provider, the CAA or partners, and the activities of the customers. Measuring outputs will provide data regarding the scope of the program, but it will not tell you what changes happen to the customers. Outputs are measured by such things as unit of service, number of people served, number of households or families served, amount of services received, hours, dollars, or other measures, hours of participation, or number of times in attendance at a program.
Okay, so then we got the two definitions here of outcome is a product, and it equals change, accomplishing something. And then output is a process. It's a service that's doing something. So you gotta keep those in your mind because we're gonna do an exercise on those two. Both outcomes and outputs are accountability measures. One measures product, and one process. And so which one measures product?
Outcome.
All right. Yeah, that's right. My brain went to, okay. In the activity, we're gonna identify doing something and accomplishing something. I want, Michelle and Val, you all, no, who's that? Somebody was there? Okay, you and, y'all three on team. Mr. McGatney, and Mr., you and Miss Floyd. Craig. And then three of you. Okay. Three of you all. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you which ones I want you to do. Adult basic education, group 1, you all be group 1. You got a basic education program. Group 2, Mr. McGatney and Mr. Johnson, emergency assistance. Ms. Carmen, Ms. Floyd, conflict management. Ms. Craig, parent education program. And then the last one is gonna be employment program, group 5. Ms. Lewis, Stephanie, and Ms. Thornton. So take a moment and go through those, and what we're identifying is that which one, you're gonna put OC for outcome and OP for output. So I've got this here so you can kind of keep looking at it. Is it a change that's accomplishing something, or is it a process that's doing something? So go through those right quick. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, and then we're gonna go over the answers. And remember to use the board because it's gonna help you out, you know, when you're doing something or you're accomplishing something. So it's either gonna be a product or a process. So you gotta use all of it. It's outcome is a product, one or the other. And then outcome is accomplishing something. Output, the process, is doing something. And don't go too deep, just, you know, just go ahead, yeah, because you can get real deep on it, yeah. Right, Okay, here we go. We gonna go with it.
That's, accomplishment.
Okay, group 1. See, y'all still be working while I'm going right now. I'm just.
Look, they ain't even finished.
Group 1, here we go.
They not finished.
Here we go, group 1, we ready. adult basic education program. And what we're gonna do, just give OP, OC on each one of them, we're gonna follow along, okay? We ready, group one?
Okay. OC,
Just go down, go down.
OC, OP, OC, 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 OC.
Okay? OP, 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 OC, OC.
So, Miss, you said OC, OOP?
Outreach and recruitment
Okay, that's there.
Uh-huh.
is a process.
OP?
Uh-huh.
OP.
OP, OC, OC. And then you can look back, you know, as we're going through and see where you missed it at. Okay, group two.
We got, OC,
Y'all hold on.
Got
So
OC.
here, wait, you got OC,
OP, OP, OC.
oh, that's as far as y'all got?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
We got trouble understanding each other handwriting, we don't.
Oh.
feel like-
Okay, so you on receive check for utility bill, that's when you're on now, right? Okay, okay. Okay, here we go. OP, OC, OP, OC, OC, OP, OC, OP.
Y'all had all of them?
Group three. Group three.
OC, OP, 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 OC.
Okay, y'all did good, but OC, OP, OC, OP, OC. You only missed one. Ms. Craig?
OP, OP, OC, OC, OP,
Oh, what the last one?
OP.
OP. Now, Ms. Craig copied from the last time we had, no, I'm just joking. Very good, Ms. Craig. Very good, she got all them right there. OP, 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 OC, OC, OP. All right, group five.
Okay, OP, OC, OC, OP, 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 OP.
Okay. It's OP, OP, OC, 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 OC.
Oh, wait.
But you know, it gets you thinking about, because you really have to think about, is it accomplishing something? Or is it doing something? And we're gonna go over this one that group five did.
Say
Outreach
it
and
again,
recruitment.
you went so fast.
That's what we're gonna do, outreach and recruitment. It's a, output, because it's doing something. Enrolls in, employability counseling, that's an output, it's doing something. Completes apprenticeship and master a skill, that's accomplishing something. See, it seems like they were doing something, but they accomplished it because they complete. They did something, they accomplished something. And then, offered employment after successful interview, OC. Obtain part-time employment, OC. Obtain full-time, OC. And then maintains employment for 90 days, OC. So, you know, it's a good way to think, you know, for us to think whether we are actually accomplishing or if we're doing something. Now we're moving to the concept, and like I said, it can be confusing. And so we're gonna go to one now called the proxy outcomes. And that's on page 47. When an output stands in for an outcome. In a proxy outcome, the receipt of service is assumed to be the outcome. This is primarily in the case there is an accepted connection based on research between the receipt of service and the outcome. So we've got here, we're gonna talk about number of meals equals the output. The number of people reduced hunger is an outcome. And then the number of people received meals is a proxy outcome. Because you're dealing with the number of people who actually received the meals, not how many meals were served. So the meals come up here, that's your output, and then the number of people receiving the meal are the proxy outcome. Proxy outcome is a count of persons receiving and then not the meals. Okay, we're gonna review the conditions on in which a proxy outcome is acceptable. That's on page 48. You use research data to support your outcome. The outcome is commonly accepted as an identified population, and the customer you serve is eligible for the service because of the identified risk. So, to make the distinction between the actual outcome is the changes in grade, etc., and the proxy outcome is the prevention of negative behavior. So that's the difference between the two. On page, what page did I tell you, 48?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And if we go over to, we've got an example here, on the middle page. Ms. Cheryl, would you read that? The examples of a proxy outcome after school program?
On page 48?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, another example?
Mhm.
Is that what- Okay, another example of a proxy outcome after-school program. If you provide an after-school program that includes a homework helper component, you should be able to identify an improvement in grades for students who attend or an improvement in school behavior. These would be the measurable outcomes for the program. Is that it?
Yes, ma'am, that's good. So, in this example, you're doing the after-school program, which is to help the students improve the grades. But how would you measure that outcome? They attended our after-school program to help improve in grades, but how would you measure it?
Yeah, I know.
Maybe graduation rates?
Okay, by the grades. I mean, if they had lower grades before they started the program, then after the program, their grades got better. So that's measurable, showing that their grades did improve because of that program. There's a place on the logic model to check if the outcome is a proxy. And that's gonna be here, on the bottom here. So if our outcome is a proxy outcome, then that's where we would identify it, right here in this lower column, across from the mission. We talked about emergency services, and it usually involves counting the output, the boxes of pound of food distributed, and we really don't know if the people that actually had an emergency's needs were met. So, no follow-up is usually done after, we do the boxes. So, it's assumed, which goes back to that first part that we talked about, assumption, that because they received the boxes, their need for being hungry or needing food was met. So that's one of the assumption portion of it. And then we got how many agencies provide tangible assistance, food, rent, utilities. And then do we have a way to determine what happens or what changes as a result of those services? So do we have any kind of way of measuring, because we provided rent and utilities, that we helped that service at the time? Well, with utilities, they didn't get cut off. So we can measure that, for the next 30 days, we know that they didn't get cut off for those 30 days. And we may need to do our own research to demonstrate the value of the service before it can be considered a proxy outcome. It is not acceptable for agencies to assume that the outcomes occur as a result of the service. So we just can't assume that because they got a box of food that we decrease the hunger or food insecurity. So just because we do that. So in order for these services to produce outcomes, some local follow-up should be done or developed that would document the outcomes have occurred. And our key points for this session is, it's not unusual for a nonprofit agency or a community-based organization to go after funds first. such as grants, and then we figured out what program is about and how we need to accomplish it. This kind of management limits our provision of service and strategic thinking. Appropriate management is based on the ROMA cycle, user mission, needs assessment, and identification of outcome as driving force in the selection of strategic strategies and services. It is important for agencies to be able to document and report on the number of services they are provided to individuals and families, and on the number of strategies they are applying to the agency and community level needs. Thank you.